right, this is what did not make the cut as our top story this morning. That is brought to you by Davidson's Liquors. If you are looking to stock up, and why wouldn't you be, check them out at Davidson's Denver. And, of course, they deliver. You can find them off of County Line Road. All right, this is what did not make the cut as our top story. The pitching for the Rockies has been terrific as well, and I really think this is the key to this season, more so than anything else.
Apparently, it's County Line Road is the key to this show.
Yeah.
Because Grand Prix Motorsports,
yep.
County Line Road.
Yep.
Wild Furniture, County Line Road.
Yep.
Davidson Liquors, County Line Road.
I agree.
So whoever's doing the advertising, they have to make a turn somewhere off of County Line Road and try something else at some point.
I don't know what to tell you. I don't do the advertising here. I just show up with you. All I want to do is be focused when I walk in the door.
Look at you.
Just
look at
like
you. Nice. That was great cliche athlete speak.
That's why I'm here. Once I leave the building, I forget about work. But once I'm here, I'm fully focused, Chad.
Nice. Okay. Well, based on spring training, I did not think the Rockies staff was going to be. It's only 2 games, very small sample size.
Absolutely.
Was not going to be as good as they have been over the first 2 games. I think that was fair to say for anyone who saw what they did in spring training.
Right.
Now, can you maintain this?
Right.
Well, we get excited about 2 games. Well, it's 162 games
right.
in a season. So this is, great start, but how do you maintain this? How do you keep this momentum going forward, and how do you keep that whole bullpen and all those guys healthy?
I think one of the big keys is catcher Nick Hundley. And people are going to say, why is a catcher so important? We saw with Rosario last year where he wasn't a very good defensive catcher. And Nick Hundley, quite frankly, is not a great defensive catcher. All right? Those that think he is, they've been sold a bill of goods. He's okay. There's nothing special about him defensively when it comes to pass balls, wild pitches, all of that stuff. But I did find it interesting that Kyle Kendrick said before his start for the Rockies opener this season, he said, all the pitchers got into a room, and in so many words, Huntley took over the room and said, this is what this guy does, this is what this guy does, this is what this guy does. I'm guessing all catchers do that. But apparently that message was so profound that it has had a direct correlation, at least the way I see it from sitting here in Denver, even though the guys are in Milwaukee. Look at what the pitching staff has done. Kendrick, spotless in his start. Bullpen, spotless. Lyles yesterday gives up 2 runs. Quality start, though. 6 innings. Bullpen, spotless. I think that's a big key to a pitching staff. It doesn't matter how good your stuff is. If you can throw a 95-mile-per-hour fastball, that's great. But if you're trying to throw a 95-mile-per-hour fastball by Manny Ramirez, and he's a first-pitch fastball hitter, he's going to knock it out of the park completely. You have to have a catcher who knows what to call in the right situations.
I think catchers are often, not given the credit that they deserve for their ability to, be the second brain for that pitcher. Because obviously the pitcher should look at tape and know the tendencies of every batter he's going to be facing on any given day. But that catcher also should know that stuff as well. And with those 2 brains working together, just like a great quarterback and a great center, setting protection and making the calls, who's the mic and all that stuff to get all that stuff set up, that same type of relationship needs to exist between the pitcher and the catcher. And to your point, if that's a good catcher can act and have the trust of the pitchers, it's going to make that staff that much better.
Let's go back about 3-4 years, okay, when Yorvi Torrealba was the catcher on this team.
Who was that?
Yorvi Torrealba. Do you remember him?
No.
Okay. Yorvi Torrealba, Latin player. Rockies had a lot of Latin pitchers. He was not a great hitter, great clutch hitter, but he related so well to the Latin pitchers on the team, like Franklin Morales and Ubaldo Jimenez, that he called a really good game. He wasn't great behind the plate as a defensive catcher, but he was great behind the plate. And that's what I see in Nick Hundley, a guy who makes your young pitchers specifically feel comfortable and confident.
I talked about how talent sometimes is third in when you're trying to figure out who's a great player, who's the makeup of your team. And a guy who can make the other players around him better, and a catcher has a chance to make the pitchers around him better.
Right.
Sometimes you want that guy because he's making plays with his brain that his body can't, this body can't make, but he makes plays with his brain. And there's a big plus and positive to the guys who can do that, because then in turn they make everyone around them play at a higher level.
All right, again, that segment was brought to you by Davidson's Liquors. If you want to shop online, and why wouldn't you, check them out at Davidson's Denver. And don't forget, they deliver.